my beautiful America. This is Malcolm McDowell, a.k.a. President John Henry Eden. We are a community, an enclave. Take care. Take care, Enclave Radio.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Fallout Season 2 just ended. There were a bunch of teasers for Season 3, big cliffhangers for almost every single one of the storylines, as well as a couple of longer-running plots from back in Season 1 that they still have not paid off yet, so we will break it all down. Good news is they're supposed to start filming Season 3 episodes this spring. Supposedly they even filmed some footage of the actual battle between the Legion and the NCR and just haven't released that yet. Maybe they're just holding it for Season 3 Episode 1. But it seems like they're trying to start releasing Season 3 episodes by the end of 2027, so they can technically say that they're releasing a new season a year after Season 2, even though technically it's more like a year and a half or more. As we all saw at the end of the episode, the Enclave is going to be the major villain of Season 3, so we'll start with the big Enclave teasers and storylines. At the very end of the finale, Cooper learns that his wife and daughter are not in the secret company vault that Hank was controlling and House had built unwittingly for the Enclave, without knowing it was the Enclave that was really controlling it before the bombs. The Colorado postcard was her way of telling Cooper that she had infiltrated the Enclave in order to save their daughter, made the Enclave believe that she was towing the line, and that was basically what he asked her to do in the flashbacks when he was getting arrested, like, do whatever you have to do to save our daughter, and that was basically make herself seem like the model employee and a loyalist for the Enclave. That was also Will Zig's threat to her in the elevator during the previous flashbacks, where he basically told her, we all have a role to play, do what you're told to do. So basically the idea is that after this moment, she just started leaning more into that. And both of them, his wife and daughter, are likely at the Enclave secret research base that Will Zig escaped from in Season 1, and that is in Colorado. This is why he was looking at the Colorado mountains at the end of the episode, the Rocky Mountains, and the billboard during the end credits said, take your family to the Rockies, the Rocky Mountains, as in Colorado. I know a lot of people are still asking about Season 1, Episode 1, the very beginning when the bombs start going off in Los Angeles. How did he get separated from his daughter? Like, what happened there? What is the actual timeline? Based on what they explained in the flashbacks that we saw in this episode, what likely happened is that he and his wife developed a secret plan for them to survive using the Enclave in order to do that. So what probably happened after this moment when he's saving his daughter on his horse at the beginning of Episode 1, Season 1, he passes his daughter to his wife, and then she goes to the secret Enclave facility, wherever that was, and they take her to that place in Colorado. So he probably knew that he was going to be separated from his wife and daughter temporarily because she had embedded herself with the Enclave, but he knew that and was eventually going to try and make his way back to her, and it's just taken him this long to eventually do that. We will probably get more flashbacks to clarify what was actually happening during those moments during Season 3 when he's eventually reunited with his wife and daughter. I definitely think that he will see them face to face, either one or both of them. Mostly, though, they're hyping up his reunion with his daughter. Like, of the two of them, obviously he loves his wife, but he loves his daughter even more, so that feels like the more impactful reunion. So think about him being reunited with his daughter in Season 3. Side note 2, in the games, there are a couple other big things going on in Colorado. A lot of people also now think that the new Fallout 5 game that they're working on in the background will take place in Colorado. I haven't heard anything about Fallout 5, but we will see about that. In the Fallout Tactics game, Colorado is the location of Vault Zero, the calculator, and it's also the location of Cheyenne Mountain. There was a promo that they released for that talks about the U.S. president in Cheyenne Mountain, connecting back to Clancy Brown's U.S. president that we saw in the past, who was wearing Enclave colors, and in lore, the last human president became Enclave during his candidacy during the actual election. So maybe we will see them visit Vault Zero, at least briefly, during Season 3 on the way to the Enclave research facility. But that's like the real final boss place that they're headed to at the end or by the end of Season 3. A lot of people have also pointed out that Colorado is also technically Legion territory in the game, so there's just a lot of Enclave and other stuff going on in Colorado for them to explore in Season 3. Here's where we get back to Cooper's daughter. A lot of people have asked if they're going to recast an older version of his daughter on the show from Season 1, because she was a little girl in Season 1, and a couple of years have gone by in real life since they filmed that, and kids just grow so fast. If they bring back the same actress, she's still gonna have to look way, way older. So at some point, I think they will say, early theory, that they will have pulled her out of cryo at some point, and she'll have aged up. Maybe they'll just recast an adult version of his daughter. Not very old, but she is an adult. And a lot of people are now wondering if they're going to try and replicate the Sean twist from the Institute storyline in Fallout 4, where you have the child of a really important character growing up in the background and returns to the story as the leader of one of the major antagonistic factions.
Coming up from my favorite cowgirl.
Is it your thumb or mine?
So in this case, the comp would be Janie, Cooper's daughter, being one of the higher-ups or even running the Enclave in present day during Season 3, which feels like a very Fallout type of twist for them to pull for. Cooper finally finds her, the person he cares about most in the world, but she winds up running the secret villain organization, and how does he save her now? Does she even want to be saved at this point? They also revealed the Enclave were the secret investors behind Vault Tec this whole time, which Norm discovered were Future Enterprise Ventures, which they referenced in the past too, once he broke into the Vault Tec computers at the headquarters, confirming all of our theories. And it was just a front name the Enclave used, and the real project was the Forced Evolutionary Virus Project from the games, which opens the door for a whole bunch more story from the actual Fallout games. The FEV is used to create super mutants, other types of mutants like Harold, who ends up turning into a tree person. The Forced Evolutionary Virus just opens the door for a lot more plot twists that they haven't done on the show yet. This is also likely what Thaddeus' character is meant to be connected to, and he'll be like the canary in the coal mine for the show for the FEV to let casual viewers who haven't played the games see how the FEV can change someone. This is also why the Ghoul, Cooper, got so afraid, so worried when he was looking at Thaddeus like, no, you're definitely not turning into a Ghoul, you're turning into something else. Ron Perlman's character, who might wind up being Marcus from the games, is a full-on super mutant, a traditional super mutant, who told Cooper that he was also planning on uniting their kind, mutants, ghouls alike, against the Enclave in the larger war, because it was the Enclave that turned them into what they are now. They will also probably continue building that storyline in the background in Season 3, but if you're using Season 2's pacing for the episodes as a template, it moved pretty slow in terms of actual big reveals and where the characters move, like how much they move from the start of the season to the end of the season. So if there's an actual all-out war battle between the super mutants and the Enclave, that feels almost like more of a Season 4 kind of payoff. Really good example of that is the big Legion war with the NCR in New Vegas. They pushed that to the beginning of Season 3. Next really big Enclave teaser was the big Phase 2 reveal that Steph delivered. It is likely connected to the FEV. Phase 2 is probably the FEV. Now remember what Norm said in his last communication that the Enclave detected. He was asking what was going to happen to their Vault 33, by default Vault 32, because they're in the same place. Steph has her back against the wall. She's trapped inside that Overseer office still. In the Enclave, we're working on the FEV, and she called for their help. The early theory, what they might be doing is introducing the FEV to Vault 33 and Vault 32, through the water supply, and some of the people will turn into mutants of different kinds.
Nah, it's just me and Herbert. He's the tree.
Mostly they've been using that whole Vault 33, Vault 32 storyline for comedy on the show, so just expect a lot of WTF twist comedy with the FEV related stuff. Not a lot of people are also asking if Steph is secretly Lucy and Norm's mother. I explained this in my finale video yesterday. She married Hank before the bombs. They went into Bud's Vault 31 cryo tubes. Hank got thawed out first and ran Vault 33, then got married to a different woman who was Lucy and Norm's biological mother, so Hank was just married to two different people at that time. Steph then gets thawed later and introduced to Vault 32, marries Bert, and Bert is canonically supposed to be the father of her child. There are a lot of people now that are also asking if Hank is secretly the father of Steph's child. Yes, it's possible, but Steph didn't really want to have anything to do with Hank. She was just using him to stay safe inside the vault as part of the program, so she probably just leading him on, being with him as much as she needed to, and she didn't really need to after they went into Vault 31. So even though it would be a wicked twist, I still think that Bert is supposed to be the father of Steph's child. Likely what they would use the twist for, like the secret mother reveal, is that they would just use it for awkward comedy if Steph is ever reunited with Norm and Lucy. Like, oh, by the way, I was also married to your father, so I'm kind of like your mother now, although not really. Then we have the big teaser for the Brotherhood of Steel and their Liberty Prime Alpha in the post-credit scene. Probably the start of their chapter building it and using it to defeat the other factions of the Brotherhood during Season 3. The Commonwealth also still has their Liberty Prime, so there are two Liberty Primes on the show now. It would be weird if they don't try to make them fight each other for a giant mech versus mech battle. Please, Amazon, pay the money that it would take for the special effects, the visual effects to actually do that. Can you imagine that's where most of their budget is going to go, just two giant mechs battling it out over the season? Then maybe after that, the Brotherhood uses their Liberty Prime to help destroy the Enclave research station in Colorado, but that depends on how quickly they blow past them building the Liberty Prime in the first place. Like, how long does that actually take, and how long does it take them to deal with the other factions of the Brotherhood? That feels like it'll take all season during 3. Because of the way they ended the episode, we know Season 3, Episode 1 will be the major battle, the major war on the Strip between Lucy, Maximus, Thaddeus, Mr. House, the NCR, and the Legion. Mr. House had also just jumped back into his mainframe computer from the Pip-Boy, so he's also probably going to help them too, and probably use the additional power that he's got now from the cold fusion device to power up all of his Securitrons, other defenses, like his missiles, just other weapons that he has stashed around New Vegas, and we will see what happens to the Legion if they wipe them all, or some of them survive and slink away. I don't think they want to perma-destroy the entire Legion in Season 3, Episode 1, like some of the Legion will survive. They really bent over backwards to create an excuse to leave Kyle MacLachlan's Hank character alive at the end of Season 3. They'll probably do the same thing for Macaulay Culkin at the beginning of Season 3.
Kaiser's palace.
But remember, now Lucy and Maximus are together. Their next major move after they deal with the Legion in New Vegas is all probably about Hank's teaser for the secretly chipped Wastelanders, who are now sleeper agents technically for the Enclave without knowing that they're sleeper agents. That entire storyline is a who do you trust kind of plot, so they'll probably just encounter people across the wasteland that you're meant to wonder if they're sleeper agents for the Enclave or they're just regular people. The only way he said to know the difference is the scar on the back of their neck that looks like the one that Hank had. Pretty easy to assume that that plot will also eventually lead them towards Colorado in the Enclave, so eventually Norm and Claudia will also converge with all of them too. We will see how this all happens, like what are going to be the pairings across the entire season of the different characters, because the show feels like it's best when you have Lucy and the Ghoul together, and right now technically they're separated, so it does feel like the two of them will have to reunite before the end of Season 3 as well too, which would mean that Lucy would also have to make her way to Colorado in the Enclave as well. Just in terms of other big Season 3 cameo scenes, because we're doing so much Enclave storyline, some people said that they spotted some behind-the-scenes pictures on set of Malcolm McDowell, so it is possible that they bring him back on the show to play a version of John Henry Eden again. During the games, John Henry Eden was one of the main antagonist AI who eventually took over control of the Enclave and names itself the next US president after Clancy Brown's human president. He was meant to be the last human president. Now remember when Hank said that the surface was the real experiment, and that was an Enclave reference to the games. The idea is that the Enclave dropped the bombs and are using the FEV, this Phase 2, to control the world and turn it into their perfect image. Basically use the world like its own little sandbox test subjects. Probably one of the other biggest teasers from the season, I think, are the chips meant to foreshadow human robots and feel more like a teaser for synths, and we'll start seeing more synths on the show if we haven't already. Like, some characters might secretly be synths and they just don't reveal that till Season 3 and Season 4. There have been a lot of clues in the games that synths existed before the bombs. We will see about that or how they handle them on the show. But there's also the Institute. They might start teasing the Institute more during Season 3, but save them for a bigger storyline in Season 4. Because remember how slow the pace was between episodes and storylines in Season 2? It'll probably be the same thing in Season 3. Currently, I think that Walton, Goggins, and Ella Purnell are only signed for the show through Season 3, so I don't know if Season 3 is meant to be the end of their particular storylines, but they also might stay on as main characters through however many more seasons the show runs. They could do at least 7 more seasons of the show if they want. There's just loads of other big storylines and villains and characters from the games that they can do that they have not teased yet. But I do not think that the Ghoul and Lucy are able to take down the Enclave just in Season 3. Like, that would definitely push into Season 4. Like, they're just way too powerful of an organization for them to get rid of them during Season 3. There's still many storylines that they have to address, so everybody post all your theories in the comments below. And if there's any Easter eggs or references that you spotted or questions you have about Season 3 or big teasers that I didn't talk about, write them below in the comments. What'll probably happen is that the other people working on the show will start talking more about Season 3 as they get ready to actually start filming it, and we start seeing some footage. I'll do more Season 3 videos just in general, so post all your video requests in the comments below. But the other big reminder is because the Super Bowl is this weekend, they're releasing Game of Thrones Night of the Seven Kingdoms Episode 4 early on Friday. We will see what time that winds up being, but I will post my big episode video for it after they actually release it, so look out for that. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss anything. Everybody click here for that video. I'll update the link as soon as I post it, and click here for all my other Fallout episodes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.